The air in Granada hung heavy with the scent of orange blossoms and history. Selena Gomez leaned against a sun-warmed wall of the Alhambra, her script forgotten in her hand. The palace's intricate tiles shimmered under the Spanish sun, whispering secrets of 1,000 years. She was here to film a period drama, all corsets and stolen glances, but right now the real story was the one she felt pulsing through these ancient stones. Her hazel eyes scanned the courtyard, catching the flicker of a tourist's camera, the low hum of a guide's voice. Something about this place felt alive, like it was waiting for her to notice. She slipped away from the crew during a break, her sneakers silent on the worn marble. The director, a guy with a beard like a bird's nest, was too busy yelling at the lighting team to care. Selena wandered deeper into the palace, past roped-off areas, drawn by a pull she couldn't name. A narrow corridor opened before her, its walls carved with delicate arabesques. She traced a finger over the patterns, feeling the cool stone hum under her touch. This wasn't in the tour guide's spiel. This was hers. At the corridor's end, a small alcove waited, shadowed and forgotten. A loose tile caught her eye, jutting out like a secret begging to be told. Selena knelt, her heart picking up speed. She tugged at the tile, and it gave way with a soft scrape, revealing a hollow behind it. Inside, wrapped in brittle cloth, was a book. Not just any book. A diary, its leather cover cracked but intact, the pages yellowed and smelling of dust and time. Her fingers trembled as she opened it. The script was old, some mix of Spanish and Arabic, but a few words jumped out. Amor, tesoro, maldition. Love, treasure, curse. Selena? You lost or just dodging work? Ellie Ward's voice cut through the silence, sharp but warm. Her assistant stood at the corridor's mouth, arms crossed, her blonde ponytail catching the light. Ellie was 28, all sarcasm and loyalty, the kind of friend who'd call you out but have your back in a heartbeat. Selena grinned, clutching the diary. Found something better than work, Ellie. Look at this. She held up the book, its weight heavy with promise. Ellie's blue eyes narrowed, skeptical but curious. She stepped closer, her boots echoing. You're gonna get us kicked out, poking around like Indiana Jones, Ellie said. But she leaned in, peering at the diary. What is it? Some old love letter. More than that, Selena murmured, flipping a page. A sketch of a crescent moon adorned one corner, next to words she couldn't read but felt like a map to something big. It's talking about a treasure. And a love story that ended bad. Ellie snorted. Sounds like your last relationship. You sure it's not cursed? Selena laughed, but the word maldition lingered in her mind. She tucked the diary into her bag, the alcove's shadows feeling heavier now. Come on, let's get back before Bird's Nest has a meltdown. They slipped out of the corridor, but Selena's mind was racing. She needed someone who knew history, someone who could crack this code. Back on set, she scanned the crew and spotted a guy she'd seen earlier, lingering near the props team. Lucas Marquez, the historical consultant. Mid-30s with dark curls and eyes that held too many secrets for a scholar. He was jotting notes, his sleeves rolled up, a faint scar tracing his forearm. Something about him screamed trouble, but the good kind. Hey Lucas, Selena called, weaving through the chaos of cameras. He looked up, his smile slow and knowing, like he'd been expecting her. Got a minute? I need your brain. Lucas set down his notebook, his gaze flicking to her bag, where the diary's shape pressed against the canvas. For you, Selena, I've got two. What's up? She hesitated, then pulled him aside, away from the crew's noise. I found something in the palace. A diary old as hell. It's got stuff about a treasure, but I can't read most of it. You know Old Spanish? Maybe Arabic. Lucas's eyes lit up, but his voice stayed calm. Could be Nasrid era, from the Alhambra's prime. Those diaries are rare. Dangerous too. People have died chasing rumors like that. He leaned closer, his breath warm against her ear. Show me. Selena's pulse quickened. Not just from the diary. Lucas had a vibe like he knew more than he let on. She opened the diary, pointing to the crescent moon sketch. This mean anything to you? He studied it, his fingers brushing hers as he turned a page. It's a symbol tied to the Moors. Could point to a hidden vault. But Selena, things like this, they attract the wrong kind of attention. Be careful who you tell. She nodded, but her gut twisted. Careful wasn't her style. Back at the hotel that night, she sat cross-legged on her bed. The diary open, Ellie sprawled nearby, scrolling her phone. The Granada skyline glowed outside, the Alhambra a dark silhouette against the stars. Selena read aloud, piecing together fragments. It's about a princess, I think. She loved someone she shouldn't have. There's this line. The treasure is her heart, but it lies where none can follow. Ellie looked up, frowning. That's some poetic crap, but it sounds like trouble. You're not seriously chasing this, are you? Maybe I am, Selena said, half smiling. What's life without a little risk? Ellie groaned. Famous last words, babe. A knock at the door made them both jump. Selena opened it to find a hotel staffer, a nervous kid holding an envelope. This came for you, Miss Gomez, he stammered, then bolted. Inside was a single sheet, handwritten in sharp, slanted script. Stop digging or the curse finds you first. Selena's breath caught. Ellie grabbed the note, her face paling. Okay, this is officially not cool. Who even knows you have that thing? No one, Selena said, but her mind flashed to Lucas's warning, his two knowing eyes. She stared at the diary, its pages seeming to pulse with secrets. The note crumpled in her hand, but her resolve hardened. Whoever wanted her to stop was about to learn she didn't scare easy. Across the city, in a dimly lit bar, a figure watched the Alhambra from a window, their phone pressed to their ear. She found it, they said, voice low. We move now. Selena didn't hear them, but as she tucked the diary under her pillow, a chill ran through her. The game had just begun, and she was already in deeper than she knew. Selena Gomez woke with a jolt, the diary's weight pressing against her chest like a warning. Sunlight streamed through the hotel curtains, painting Granada's rooftops gold. But that note from last night sat heavy on her mind. Stop digging or the curse finds you first. She'd stuffed it in her bag, but its words clung to her, sharp and cold. Ellie was already up, nursing a coffee and scrolling through emails, her blonde ponytail swinging as she muttered about the film crew's schedule. You look like you saw a ghost, Selena, she said, not looking up. That diary messing with your head? Selena forced a grin, sliding the diary onto the table. Not the diary, the creepy fan mail. She tapped the note, now creased from her restless grip. Someone's got a flair for drama. Ellie's eyes flicked to the note, her sarcasm fading. Okay, that's not cute. We need to tell someone. Like security. Or the cops. No way, Selena said, her voice firm. Cops'll shut this down, and I'm not ready to let it go. This diary's real, Ellie. Feel it. We just need to be smart. Ellie groaned, setting her coffee down. Smart's not your brand, babe. But fine. What's the plan? You gonna play detective now? Selena's lips curled into a mischievous smile. Something like that. Lucas said he could decode it. I'm meeting him at the set today. You in? Ellie hesitated, then sighed. Only to keep you from getting cursed. Or kidnapped. Or both. The Alhambra buzzed with the film crew's chaos when they arrived. Cameras rolled, extras in Renaissance costumes milled about, and the director's voice boomed over a megaphone. Selena spotted Lucas near a fountain in the Court of the Lions, his dark curls catching the morning light. He was sketching something, his focus intense, like the palace itself was speaking to him. She nudged Ellie. There's our guy. Try not to scare him off. Me? I'm charming. Ellie shot back, but her eyes scanned the courtyard, wary. Selena approached, the diary tucked under her arm. Lucas. Ready to play historian. He looked up, his smile easy but guarded. Always, Selena. You brought it. His gaze dropped to the diary, a flicker of hunger in his eyes. She nodded, handing it over. Found something else, too. She pulled out the note, watching his reaction. Any idea who'd send this? Lucas's face tightened as he read it, his fingers tracing the words. This is serious. The Alhambra's got its share of ghosts, but this feels personal. You told anyone else about the diary? Just Ellie, Selena said, glancing at her friend, who was eyeing Lucas like he might sprout fangs. And now you. Lucas handed the note back, his voice low. Keep it that way. Let's see what the diary says. He opened it, his fingers deft on the brittle pages. This line here, about the fountain's gaze. It's a clue. There's a fountain in Granada, Plaza Nueva. It's old, tied to the moors. Could be where your princess hid something. Selena's pulse quickened. Then we go there. Today. Ellie crossed her arms. We? As in you're dragging me into this treasure hunt? What's next, dodging booby traps? Lucas chuckled, but his eyes stayed on Selena. It's not a game, Ellie. People have killed for less than what's in this book. The weight of his words settled over them, but before Selena could respond, a new voice cut in. Trouble in paradise? Jake Riley sauntered over, his American drawl lazy but sharp. He was 40, rugged, with a journalist's nose for secrets and a grin that screamed trouble. His leather jacket was out of place among the film crew, but he wore it like armor. Heard you found something juicy, Selena. She stiffened. Who told you that? Jake shrugged, his eyes flicking to the diary. Word gets around. I'm working a story on the Alhambra's myths. Treasure, curses, all that jazz. Mind if I tag along? Ellie stepped forward, her voice icy. Yeah, we mind. This isn't a press tour, Jake. He raised his hands, mock surrender. Easy, killer. Just offering my expertise. I've chased leads like this before. Could save you some headaches. Selena hesitated. Jake's vibe was off, too eager, but he might know something useful. Fine, she said. But you keep up and you keep quiet. Jake's grin widened. Deal. The Plaza Nueva fountain loomed by noon. Its stone weathered but regal, water glinting in the sun. Tourists snapped photos, but Selena's focus was on the carved symbols at its base. Lucas knelt, tracing a crescent moon etched into the stone, matching the diary's sketch. This is it, he said, his voice hushed. The fountain's gaze points to a marker. Look for something out of place. Selena scanned the fountain, her fingers brushing the cool stone. A loose tile shifted under her touch, revealing a small carved box beneath. Her breath caught as she lifted it, the metal cold and heavy. Inside was a silver pendant, shaped like a teardrop, with an inscription too worn to read. Holy crap! Ellie whispered, peering over her shoulder. That's gotta be worth a fortune. Jake leaned in too close. Or trouble. You don't just find stuff like this without someone noticing. Lucas's eyes darkened. He's right. We need to move. Now. As they slipped through the plaza, Selena felt eyes on her. A man in a dark coat lingered by a cafe. His gaze locked on them. She clutched the pendant, her heart racing. Back at the hotel, Lucas examined it under a lamp. This is Nasrid craftsmanship, he said. The inscription's partial, but it mentions a key to the heart. Could be the next clue. Selena's mind spun. The diary, the note, the pendant. It was all connected, but to what? She glanced at Jake, who was texting furiously, his face unreadable. Ellie caught her eye, her expression screaming distrust. That night, Selena couldn't sleep. The pendant sat on her nightstand, glinting like a warning. She opened the diary, rereading the princess's words. The heart hides where water meets stone. The fountain was just the start. There was more out there waiting. A crash jolted her upright. The hotel room's balcony door was open, curtains flapping. Ellie shot up, grabbing her phone. What the hell was that? Selena's eyes darted to the diary. It was still there, but the pendant was gone. In its place was a fresh note, scrawled in the same sharp script. You were warned. Footsteps echoed outside, fading fast. Someone had been here in their room, and they'd left her a message she couldn't ignore. Thank you for listening to these incredible stories. Our team would really appreciate it if you give us a like and comment. Your opinion is very important to us. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed. Selena Gomez stood frozen in her hotel room, the night air slipping through the open balcony door like a thief. The note on her nightstand burned into her vision. You were warned. The pendant was gone, stolen from right under her nose, and the diary felt heavier in her hands, like it was daring her to keep going. Ellie Ward paced, her phone clutched tight, her voice a mix of panic and fury. This is insane, Selena. Someone broke in. We're calling security. Now. Selena shook her head, her jaw tight. No. Whoever did this wants us to stop. Calling security just hands them the win. We're smarter than that. Her voice was steady, but her heart hammered. The pendant's loss stung, but the diary was still hers, and it held answers. She just needed to find them. Ellie threw up her hands. Smarter? Babe, we're in over our heads. That note's not a prank. Someone's watching us. Selena met her gaze, defiance sparking. Then let them watch. I'm not backing down. She tucked the diary into her bag. The note crumpled beside it. We stick to the plan. The diary's next clue mentioned a market. We go there today with Lucas. He knows this stuff. Ellie's eyes narrowed. And Jake? You really trust that guy? He was all over that pendant yesterday, texting like a shady dealer. Selena hesitated. Jake Riley's easy grin and journalist swagger had set her on edge too. He'd been too quick to join them, too curious about the diary. But he'd also known about the fountain's history, details even Lucas hadn't mentioned. We keep him close, she said finally. If he's trouble, I'd rather see it coming. Ellie muttered something about famous last words but grabbed her jacket. Fine. But if we end up in a ditch, I'm haunting you. The Albaicin market buzzed with life by mid-morning. A maze of stalls spilling over with spices, leather bags and glittering trinkets. Granada's sun beat down, mixing with the scent of cumin and fresh bread. Selena wove through the crowd, the diary's words looping in her mind. Where the hawk soars, the heart's key waits. Lucas Marquez led the way, his dark eyes scanning the stalls, his voice low as he explained. The hawk was a Nazareth symbol. There's a stall here run by an old family. They deal in antiquities. Could be our spot. Selena nodded, her bag heavy with the diary's secrets. Jake trailed behind, snapping photos with his phone, his grin too casual for her liking. Ellie stuck close, her skepticism a shield. The crowd parted, revealing a stall draped in deep red cloth, its table cluttered with old coins and carved boxes. A woman stood behind it, her silver hair braided, her eyes sharp as a blade. Isabella Vera, Lucas had called her, a dealer with ties to Granada's underbelly. Welcome, Isabella said, her voice smooth, accented. You seek something special, yes? Her gaze lingered on Selena, like she could see the diary through her bag. Selena stepped forward, her charm dialed up. Maybe. We're looking for history. Something tied to the Alhambra. A hawk, maybe. Isabella's smile didn't reach her eyes. The hawk flies high, but its shadow hides secrets. You have something to trade. She glanced at Lucas, a silent question passing between them. Lucas cleared his throat. She's got a diary. Nazareth era. It mentions a key. Selena shot him a look. Why was he spilling that? But Isabella's interest sharpened, her fingers tapping the table. A diary? Rare. Dangerous. Show me. Reluctantly, Selena opened the diary to a marked page, keeping it close. Isabella leaned in, her breath catching at the crescent moon sketch. This points to a relic. A key perhaps, hidden in the market's heart. But you must move quickly. Others seek it. Jake edged closer, his phone still in hand. Others? Like who? Isabella's eyes flicked to him, cold. Those who guard the past. They do not forgive. Selena's skin prickled. The note, the stolen pendant, the shadow circle Lucas had called them. She slipped the diary back into her bag. Where's the key? Isabella pointed to a narrow alley behind the stall. Follow the hawk's mark. But beware. The heart's path is never safe. The alley was a claustrophobic tunnel, its walls graffitied with faded symbols. Lucas spotted a carved hawk, barely visible, above a rusted door. Selena pushed it open, revealing a dusty storeroom stacked with crates. Her pulse raced as she scanned the shadows, finding a small box etched with a hawk. Inside was a bronze key, its surface worn but intricate, matching the diary's description. Jackpot, she whispered, holding it up. Ellie's eyes widened, but Jake's reaction was off, his grin faltering. Lucas took the key, his fingers brushing hers. This unlocks something in the Alhambra. We're close, Selena. Before she could reply, a shout echoed from the alley. Footsteps pounded, and a man in a dark coat burst in, his face masked. Give it up, he snarled, lunging for the key. Selena dodged, her heart in her throat, as Lucas tackled the guy. Ellie grabbed a crate, swinging it like a bat, and the man staggered, fleeing into the market. Panting, Selena clutched the key. What the hell was that? Jake's voice was too calm. Guess Isabella wasn't kidding about competition. Ellie glared at him. Or someone tipped them off. She yanked Selena aside, her whisper fierce. Jake's bad news. I saw him texting in the market, right before that guy showed up. Selena's stomach twisted. She glanced at Jake, who was brushing dust off his jacket, his eyes avoiding hers. Lucas too seemed tense, his grip on the key too tight. Back at the hotel, she locked the key in the safe, but the unease wouldn't quit. Ellie was right. Someone was playing them. That night, Selena's phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Check your journalist friend. He's not who you think. Her blood ran cold. She opened her laptop, digging into Jake's articles. Most were legit, but a buried post on a shady forum linked him to a group chasing Alhambra relics. The Shadow Circle. She slammed the laptop shut, her mind racing. Jake had been with them at the fountain, the market. Had he taken the pendant? Was he leading them into a trap? The key in the safe felt like a ticking bomb, and the diary's words echoed. Trust is the heart's first casualty. A soft knock broke her thoughts. Lucas stood at her door, his face grim. Selena, we need to talk. It's about Jake. Her grip tightened on the diary. The game was shifting and she was one step from falling. Selena Gomez stood in her hotel room, the diary's leather cover cool against her palms, its secrets heavier than ever. Lucas Marquez leaned against the doorframe, his dark eyes troubled, his voice low. Selena, Jake's not just a journalist. I saw him last night meeting someone in the Albayacin. Shady guy, looked like muscle. I think he's tied to the people chasing us. The words landed like a punch, confirming the text she'd gotten. Check your journalist friend. Her gut had been right. Jake Riley was playing a game, and she'd let him sit at the table. She set the diary down, her mind racing. Why didn't you say something sooner, Lucas? We've been dragging him along, and now the pendant's gone, the key's barely safe. Her voice cracked, frustration spilling over. The hotel room felt too small, Granada's night pressing against the windows. Lucas ran a hand through his curls, his scar catching the lamplight. I wasn't sure. I am now. We need to cut him loose, but carefully. If he's with the Shadow Circle, he's not working alone. His gaze flicked to the safe where the bronze key hid. Its hawk engraving a silent promise of answers. Selena nodded, but doubt gnawed at her. Lucas was holding something back too. His knowledge of the diary, the way he'd known exactly where to look in the market. It was too convenient. She pushed the thought aside. One snake at a time. Okay, she said. We keep Jake close, feed him nothing important. But we move on the next clue. The diary's all we've got. Ellie Ward burst in, her blonde ponytail swinging. Her face a mix of worry and exasperation. You two plotting without me? I just saw Jake in the lobby on his phone looking way too smug. What's the deal? Selena filled her in, watching Ellie's eyes narrow. Told you he was bad news, Ellie said, crossing her arms. So what's the diary saying? Or are we just gonna keep dodging creeps? Selena opened the diary, her fingers finding a passage she'd marked. The princess's words were clearer now, thanks to Lucas's translations. The heart's key rests where faith meets stone, under the saint's shadow. It's pointing to a chapel, she said. Lucas thinks it's San Miguel Bajo, a small one in the hills. Old, tied to the Moors before it was Christian. We go there tomorrow. Lucas nodded. The chapel's got Nasrid-era stones in its foundation. Could hide something. But Selena, the Shadow Circle knows we're moving. That break-in wasn't random. Ellie snorted. No kidding. What's next, ninjas? I'm not signed up for this, you know. Selena grinned despite the tension. You love it, Ellie. Admit it. But her smile faded as she glanced at the diary. The princess's story was unraveling, and it hit too close to home. A love forbidden, a treasure cursed, a betrayal that broke everything. She wondered if the princess had felt this same mix of thrill and fear. The next morning, San Miguel Bajo loomed on a quiet hill, its whitewashed walls stark against the olive groves. The air was crisp, carrying the scent of earth and wild thyme. Selena led the group, the diary in her bag, the key in her pocket. Lucas walked beside her, his silence heavy. Ellie trailed, muttering about blisters while Jake hung back, his camera clicking, his grin too easy. Selena kept her eyes on him, her trust in him gone. Inside, the chapel was cool and dim, its wooden pews worn smooth by centuries. A stone altar stood at the far end, carved with faint geometric patterns, remnants of its Moorish past. Lucas knelt, running his fingers along the floor. "Here," he said, pointing to a slab etched with a faint hawk. "This is it." Selena's heart raced as she helped him lift the slab, revealing a shallow hollow. Inside was a cloth-wrapped bundle, heavy and cold. She unwrapped it, finding a silver ring, its band engraved with a crescent moon and a single word: Amor. Love. The princess's ring, maybe. A piece of her heart. Ellie whistled. "That's some serious bling. Worth getting stalked for." Jake stepped closer, his voice casual. "Could be a fake. Lots of replicas out there." But his eyes lingered too long, hungry. Selena slipped the ring into her pocket, her skin tingling. "It's real. I know it." She turned to Lucas, who was reading the diary's next line aloud, his voice soft. The princess wrote, "My love is my curse, bound to the heart's final lock. This ring's part of it, but there's more." Before anyone could reply, a shadow moved in the chapel's doorway. A woman older with silver hair and a predator's grace. Isabella Vera. Her smile was sharp, her accent thick. "You move quickly, Miss Gomez. But the heart's path is treacherous. That ring carries a weight you cannot imagine." Selena's grip tightened on her bag. "What do you want, Isabella? You sent us to the market and we got attacked. You know more than you're saying." Isabella's eyes flicked to Jake, then back. "I know many things. The shadow circle guards the treasure, and they see all. You need me, child, if you wish to survive." She stepped closer, her voice dropping. "Give me the diary. I can protect it." Lucas stood, his body tense. "She's not giving you anything. Back off." Isabella laughed, low and cold. "Brave words, Lucas. But you know the cost of defiance." She turned to leave, then paused. "Check your shadows, Selena. They grow longer." The chapel felt colder after she left. Selena's mind spun. Isabella's warning, Jake's lies, the ring's weight in her pocket. She glanced at Lucas, his face unreadable, and felt a spark she couldn't ignore. He was trouble, but he was her trouble, at least for now. Back in Granada, the group split to regroup, but Selena couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. She sat in a cafe, the diary open, the ring glinting beside her coffee. The princess's story was clearer now. A night of forbidden love, a treasure hidden to protect it. But the curse lingered, tied to betrayal. Selena's own life felt like an echo, her trust fraying with every step. Ellie slid into the seat across from her, her face grim. "I followed Jake after the chapel. He met someone, Selena. Same guy from the market attack. I got a photo." She slid her phone over, showing Jake handing a small object to a man in a dark coat. Selena's blood ran cold. The pendant. It had to be. Jake had stolen it and now he was selling them out. But before she could process it, Lucas texted, "Meet me at the Alhambra tonight. The ring's clue points to a hidden door. Come alone." Her heart skipped. Alone? With Jake exposed, Lucas was her only ally. Or was he? The diary's words burned in her mind. Trust is the heart's first casualty. She slipped the ring onto her finger. Its weight a promise and a threat. The Alhambra was calling, and someone was waiting in its shadows. Selena Gomez slipped through the Alhambra's moonlit arches, her sneakers silent on the ancient tiles. The night air was cool, laced with jasmine, but her nerves were electric. Lucas's text burned in her mind. "Meet me at the Alhambra tonight. The ring's clue points to a hidden door. Come alone." Alone was a risk, especially with Jake Riley exposed as a traitor. Ellie's photo of him handing off what looked like the stolen pendant had sealed it. Jake was with the shadow circle, and Selena's trust was crumbling. But Lucas was her only lead now. His knowledge of the diary her lifeline. The silver ring on her finger, engraved with Amor, felt like a talisman, or maybe a curse. She'd left Ellie at the hotel, ignoring her protests. "You're nuts, Selena," Ellie had said, her blue eyes flashing. "Going solo with Lucas? After everything? At least take me as backup." But Selena had shaken her head, the diary tucked in her bag, the bronze key in her pocket. She needed answers and Lucas was her best shot. Still, Ellie's warning echoed. "If you get jumped, I'm not scraping you off the pavement." The court of the lions was empty, its slender columns casting long shadows. Selena's heart raced as she spotted Lucas near the fountain. his dark curls glinting under the moonlight. He turned, his face tense but softening when he saw her. "You came," he said, his voice low-accented. "I wasn't sure you would." "Almost didn't," Selena admitted, stepping closer. "Jake's a snake, Lucas. Ellie saw him with one of the Shadow Circle's goons. He's been playing us." Her words were sharp, testing him. If Lucas was hiding something, she'd see it now. His jaw tightened, but his eyes held hers. "I knew he was trouble. That's why I said come alone. We can't trust him, Selena. Not with this." He gestured to the diary in her bag, then held up a sketch of the ring's crescent moon. "This symbol? It's tied to a hidden door in the Mekshwar Hall. The ring's a key, not just a clue." Selena's pulse quickened. "Then let's find it." "But Lucas, if you're holding out on me, I'll know." She meant it, her gaze locked on his, searching for cracks. He nodded, a flicker of something, maybe guilt, crossing his face. "Fair. Follow me." He led her through the palace, past roped-off corridors, his steps sure, like he'd walked this path before. The Mekshwar Hall was dim, its ornate stucco walls glowing faintly under security lights. Lucas knelt by a low panel, tracing a crescent moon carved into the stone. "Here," he said, pointing to a small slot. "Try the ring." Selena slid the ring off, her fingers trembling as she fitted it into the slot. A soft click echoed, and the panel shifted, revealing a narrow passage. Dust swirled, the air thick with age. "Holy crap," she whispered, peering into the dark. "This is real." Lucas's hand brushed her arm, steadying her. "It's real, but it's dangerous. The Shadow Circle guards places like this. We need to move fast." Before they could step inside, a voice cut through the silence, sharp and familiar. "Going somewhere?" Isabella Vera emerged from the shadows, her silver braid glinting, her eyes cold as steel. She held a small blade, casual but threatening. "You're stubborn, Miss Gomez. That will cost you." Selena's heart leapt to her throat. "Isabella, what's your deal? You keep popping up, dropping cryptic warnings. You with the Shadow Circle." Isabella's laugh was low, bitter. "With them? No. But I know them. They're older than you can imagine, guarding the Alhambra's secrets for centuries. That diary you carry? It's their obsession. And you're stirring a hornet's nest." Lucas stepped forward, his voice hard. "Back off, Isabella. She's not giving you the diary." Isabella's eyes flicked to him, amused. "Oh, Lucas. You play the hero, but you know the truth. Tell her, or I will." Her words hung heavy, a challenge. Selena turned to Lucas, her stomach twisting. "Tell me what?" He hesitated, his face paling. "Not now, Selena. We don't have time." Isabella smirked. "Time's running out for both of you. The Shadow Circle knows you're here. They sent me to warn you one last time. Stop, or you won't see the sunrise." She stepped back, vanishing into the dark as quickly as she'd appeared. Selena's hands shook, rage and fear colliding. "Lucas, what was she talking about? What aren't you telling me?" Her voice rose, echoing in the hall. He grabbed her shoulders, his grip firm but gentle. "I swear I'll explain. But we need to get out of here." "She's not bluffing." His eyes darted to the passage, then back to her. "Trust me for now. Please." She wanted to push, to demand answers, but the urgency in his voice stopped her. They slipped out of the hall, the ring back on her finger, the passage unexplored. Granada streets were alive with late-night crowds, but Selena felt exposed, every shadow a threat. Lucas stayed close, his silence heavy. Back at the hotel, Ellie was waiting, her face a storm. "You're alive," Ellie said, relief mixing with sarcasm. "But you look like you saw a ghost. What happened?" Selena collapsed onto the couch, the diary in her lap. "Isabella ambushed us. Said the Shadow Circle's coming. And Lucas is hiding something." She shot him a look, daring him to dodge again. Lucas sighed, sitting across from her. "I knew someone tied to the circle years ago. A mentor. He warned me about the diary's curse. I didn't believe him until he vanished. That's all, Selena. I'm on your side." She studied him, wanting to believe it, but doubt lingered. Ellie crossed her arms. "Great. So we're stuck with a liar and a traitor. Jake's probably selling us out as we speak." As if on cue, Selena's phone buzzed. an unknown number flashing. She answered, her voice sharp. Who is this? A distorted voice rasped through, chilling her. Selena Marie Gomez. You were warned. The ring won't save you. Stop or your friends pay first. The line went dead, leaving her frozen. Ellie grabbed the phone, her face pale. What the hell was that? Selena's hand tightened on the diary. The ring's weight unbearable. They know my name. My real name. Her eyes met Lucas's, fear giving way to resolve. The shadow circle was closing in, and someone, maybe even Lucas, was feeding them her every move. The hidden door waited, but so did a trap, and she was running out of time to choose her allies. Selena Gomez sat on the edge of her hotel bed, the diary open in her lap, its pages a maze of secrets and warnings. The distorted voice from last night's call echoed in her head. Stop or your friends pay first. Her real name, Selena Marie, had been a gut punch, proof the shadow circle wasn't just watching. They were inside her world. The silver ring on her finger, engraved with amour, felt heavier. Its crescent moon a silent taunt. Ellie Ward paced the room, her blonde ponytail swinging, her voice sharp with worry. We can't stay here, Selena. They know where we are. We need to move. Selena nodded, her resolve hardening. We're not stopping. The diary's next clue points to Morocco. Tangier. There's a souk mentioned, something about the hawk's flight over sand. We go there, find the next piece. She glanced at Lucas Marquez, who leaned against the wall, his dark eyes troubled. His half-confessed past, tied to a vanished mentor in the shadow circle, hung between them. She wanted to trust him, but doubt was a splinter she couldn't pull out. Ellie stopped pacing, her hands on her hips. Morocco? Are you serious? We're dodging psychos in Granada, and you want to hop a border? With him. She jerked her head at Lucas, her skepticism ablaze. Lucas pushed off the wall, his voice calm but firm. The souk in 10 years old, tied to Nasrid traders. The diary's clue fits. If we stay here, the circle catches us. Moving's our only shot. His gaze locked on Selena, a plea buried in it. You know I'm right. She studied him, the scar on his forearm catching the morning light. He'd led her to the hidden door last night, but Isabella's warning, tell her or I will, still gnawed at her. Okay, she said finally. But no secrets, Lucas. You owe me the truth, all of it, soon. He nodded, but his silence felt like a dodge. Ellie groaned. Great. A road trip with Mr. Mysterious and a cursed diary. What's next? Jake crashing the party. Selena's stomach twisted at the mention of Jake Riley. Ellie's photo of him with a shadow circle thug had burned away any trust. He'd vanished after the chapel, his phone going straight to voicemail. He's out, she said. If he shows up, we shut him down. Hard. By noon, they were on a ferry crossing the Strait of Gibraltar, the sea glittering under a relentless sun. Selena leaned on the railing, the diary in her bag, the bronze key in her pocket. Morocco loomed ahead, a haze of possibility and danger. Ellie sat nearby, sunglasses hiding her eyes, but her tension was obvious. Lucas stood apart, scanning the horizon, his jaw tight. Selena felt the weight of their fractured trio, each carrying secrets she couldn't crack. Tangier's souk was a sensory overload, a labyrinth of stalls bursting with spices, rugs, and brass lanterns. The air hummed with haggling voices and the tang of mint tea. Selena led the way, the diary's clue her guide. The hawk flies where sand meets gold. Lucas pointed to a corner stall, its owner an old man with a face like weathered leather, his table piled with jewelry and coins. A hawk pendant gleamed among them, its design matching the diary's sketch. Selena approached, her charm dialed up. Hi, that hawk pendant. It's beautiful. Got a story behind it. The man's eyes narrowed, assessing her. Old story. Nasrid gold from the desert's heart. Not for tourists. His voice was gruff, but he leaned closer. You know its weight? She nodded, slipping the ring off her finger to show him. I know enough. The man's gaze sharpened, and he gestured to a back room curtained off. Come. We talk. Inside, the air was thick with incense. The man who called himself Amin studied the ring, his fingers tracing its crescent moon. This is hers. The princess. Her love was her curse. He handed Selena a small etched stone, its surface worn but marked with a hawk. This opens the next path. In the souk's heart, under the gold merchant's gaze. Selena's pulse raced. Another piece, another step. But before she could ask more, a crash shattered the moment. The curtain ripped aside and a man lunged, his knife glinting. Lucas tackled him, the two crashing into crates. Selena grabbed Ellie, pulling her back, but the attacker's eyes locked on her. "The diary," he snarled, struggling against Lucas. "Give it." Ellie swung a brass lamp, catching the man's shoulder. He staggered, then bolted, vanishing into the souk. Amin cursed, his face pale. "They've found you. Go now." Selena clutched the stone, her heart pounding. The souk's noise felt menacing now, every face a potential threat. They slipped through the crowd, Lucas leading them to a quiet alley. Ellie's voice shook. "That's twice, Selena. Twice we've been jumped. This isn't a game." "I know," Selena said, her voice steady despite the fear. "But we're close. The stone's a key like the ring. We find the gold merchant, we find the next clue." She turned to Lucas, her eyes hard. "And you? That guy knew we had the diary. How?" Lucas's face tightened. "I don't know. But I'm not the leak." His voice was raw, almost desperate, but Selena's doubt lingered. Ellie's phone buzzed, breaking the tension. She glanced at it, her face paling. "It's from Jake. He's in Tangier. Says he's got info on the shadow circle. Wants to meet." Selena's blood ran cold. "Jake here now?" "It's a trap," she said. "He's with them." Lucas nodded. "We ignore him. Focus on the clue." But Ellie's expression shifted, her fingers hesitating over her phone. "What?" Selena asked, catching it. Ellie swallowed, her voice low. "I didn't want to say, but I owe someone. Back in Granada. A debt. They've been texting asking about you. About the diary." Her eyes met Selena's, guilt and fear mixing. "I haven't told them anything, I swear. But they know we're here." Selena's heart sank. Ellie, her rock, was compromised? "Who, Ellie? Who's got you on a leash?" Ellie shook her head, tears brimming. "I can't say. Not yet. But I'm with you, Selena. I am." The alley felt smaller, the souk's noise closing in. Selena gripped the diary, the stone in her pocket a fragile hope. Jake was circling. Ellie was hiding something, and Lucas's secrets were piling up. The gold merchant waited, but so did the shadow circle, and someone in her group was already slipping. As they stepped back into the souk, a shadow moved behind them unseen, its whisper carrying a promise of betrayal. Selena Gomez wove through Tangier's souk, the etched stone from Amin burning a hole in her pocket. The diary's clue, the hawk flies where sand meets gold, pulsed in her mind, pointing to a gold merchant somewhere in this chaotic maze. But her heart was heavier than the bronze key she carried. Ellie Ward's confession, a debt tying her to someone in Granada, had cracked their trust. Lucas Marquez's half-truths about his past weren't helping either. And Jake Riley's text, claiming he was in Tangier with info on the shadow circle, screamed trap. The air was thick with spice and suspicion, and Selena felt the walls closing in. She glanced at Ellie, who walked beside her, her sunglasses hiding her eyes but not her guilt. "You gotta give me something, Ellie," Selena said, her voice low, urgent. "Who's got you on a leash? If they're tied to the circle, I need to know." Ellie's jaw tightened, her voice barely a whisper. "I can't, Selena. Not yet. It's complicated. But I'm not selling you out. I'd die first." Her words were raw, but they didn't erase the sting of her secrecy. Lucas, leading the way, turned back, his dark curls damp with sweat. "We're close. The gold merchant's stall is in the souk's heart, near the old mosque. Keep your eyes open." His gaze flicked to Ellie, then Selena, a silent question in it. He felt the fracture too. Selena nodded, but her mind churned. The souk was a labyrinth, stalls piled with glittering chains and coins, vendors shouting over each other. The hawkstone was their guide, but the shadow circle was out there, and Jake's sudden reappearance wasn't a coincidence. Her phone buzzed again, another text from him. "Meet me at Café Haifa. I can help." She deleted it, her gut screaming to keep him far. The gold merchant's stall was a riot of shimmer, necklaces and rings glinting under a tattered canopy. The owner, a wiry man with a sharp beard, watched them approach, his eyes narrowing. "You seek the hawk's gold?" he asked, his accent thick, his fingers tapping a gold medallion etched with a familiar crescent moon. Selena's pulse jumped. Yeah, we've got this. She showed him the stone, keeping the diary hidden. The man who called himself Yusuf studied it, then gestured to a back room, much like a means. Come. The Hawk's Path is not for crowds. Inside, the room was cramped, lit by a single lamp. Yusuf opened a locked box, revealing a gold amulet, its surface engraved with a hawk in flight. This is yours, he said, handing it to Selena. But it comes with a warning. The heart's lock is near, but its price is blood. His eyes flicked to Lucas, a knowing look passing between them. Selena's grip tightened on the amulet. What's that supposed to mean? And why do you keep looking at him? She nodded at Lucas, her patience thinning. Yusuf's smile was thin. Ask your friend. He knows the old stories. He turned away, ending the conversation. Outside, the souk's noise hit like a wave. Selena rounded on Lucas, her voice sharp. What was that, Lucas? Another secret? I'm done with half answers. Her eyes burned into his, the amulet heavy in her hand. Lucas sighed, his shoulders slumping. My mentor, the one who vanished? He chased this amulet. Said it was tied to a sacrifice, something the princess demanded. I didn't believe him, but I'm starting to. His voice was raw, and for the first time Selena saw fear in his eyes. It pulled at her, softening her anger. Ellie, silent until now, spoke up, her voice tight. Great. So we're chasing a cursed amulet now? And you're both acting like I'm the sketchy one. Her hurt was palpable, cutting Selena deeper. Before she could respond, a shout broke the tension. Jake Riley pushed through the crowd, his leather jacket scuffed, his grin gone. Selena! Wait up! He was breathless, his eyes darting like he was being hunted. Selena stepped back, her hand on the amulet. Stay away, Jake. I know you're with the circle. You stole the pendant, didn't you? Jake's face fell, but he didn't deny it. It's not what you think. I took it to protect you. The circle's closing in and I've got intel. Meet me tonight, please. His voice was urgent, but Selena's trust was ashes. Lucas stepped between them, his voice hard. Get lost, Riley. You're done. Jake's eyes flicked to the amulet, then back to Selena. You're making a mistake. They're watching. He backed off, melting into the crowd, but his warning lingered. That night, in a cramped Tangier hostel, Selena sat with the diary, the amulet beside it. Its hawk seemed to stare at her, daring her to keep going. Lucas was outside, checking the locks, his tension a mirror of her own. Ellie sat across, her silence heavy. Selena broke it, her voice soft but firm. Ellie, I need you to trust me. Whatever's got you scared, we'll face it together. But you gotta let me in. Ellie's eyes welled, but she nodded. Soon, Selena. I promise. It wasn't enough, but it was a start. The diary's next clue was clearer now, thanks to the amulet. The heart's lock waits where empires clash. Lucas had a hunch, Istanbul, where Moorish and Ottoman worlds met. But as Selena traced the amulet's hawk, her thoughts snagged on Jake. Was he a liar? Or a desperate ally? And Lucas, his fear real but his story incomplete. The souk attack, Ellie's debt, the circle's reach, it was all connected, and she was the center. A soft knock jolted her. Lucas slipped in, his face grim. We've got a problem. The amulet's triggered something. I just saw two guys outside watching the hostel. We need to leave now. Selena's heart sank. The circle was here and someone had tipped them off. Her eyes flicked to Ellie, then Lucas, the amulet's weight a reminder of Yusuf's warning. A price in blood. As they grabbed their bags, a shadow moved outside, and Selena knew the hawk's flight was leading them straight into a storm. Selena Gomez clutched the gold amulet, its hawk engraving glinting under the dim hostel lamp in Tangier. The diary lay open beside it, its latest clue. The heart's lock waits where empires clash, pointing to Istanbul. But the air was thick with betrayal. Lucas Marquez's warning about watchers outside had sent them scrambling. Bags packed, nerves frayed. Ellie Ward's confession of a debt tying her to someone in Granada gnawed at Selena, and Jake Riley's plea in the souk, claiming he'd stolen the pendant to protect her, muddied everything. The shadow circle was closing in, and someone in her circle was a crack in the dam. Ellie stood by the window, peering through the blinds, her voice tight. They're still out there, Selena. Two guys, hoods up, just standing. We can't stay here. Her blonde ponytail was fraying, her usual sarcasm drowned by fear. Selena zipped her bag, the diary and amulet inside. We're not. Lucas says there's a back exit. We slip out, get to the port, catch a flight to Istanbul. She glanced at Lucas, who was checking his phone, his dark eyes shadowed. His story about a vanished mentor tied to the circle felt incomplete, and his fear in the souk had been too raw. Right, Lucas? That's the plan. He nodded, but his jaw was tight. Yeah, but we move quiet. The circle's got eyes everywhere. His gaze flicked to Ellie, then back to Selena, a silent question hanging. He didn't trust her, not fully, and Selena couldn't blame him. Ellie's secrecy was a wound they couldn't ignore. Selena crossed to Ellie, her voice soft but firm. Ellie, I need the truth. Who's got you scared? If they're feeding the circle, we're all screwed. Her hazel eyes searched her friends, desperate for a crack in the wall. Ellie's face crumpled, her voice barely audible. It's Isabella Vera. I borrowed money from her years ago for family stuff. She's been leaning on me, asking about you, the diary. I haven't told her anything, Selena, I swear. Tears brimmed, but she held Selena's gaze. I'm trying to fix it. Selena's heart twisted. Isabella, the cryptic antiquities dealer, was the puppeteer? Why didn't you tell me? She asked, hurt lacing her words. We could have handled it together. Ellie shook her head. I was ashamed. She's dangerous, Selena. More than you know. Her voice broke and Selena pulled her into a hug, the amulet pressing between them. Lucas cleared his throat, his voice urgent. We gotta go. Now. He led them through the hostel's back door, into a narrow alley reeking of fish and diesel. Tangier's night was alive with distant music, but the shadows felt predatory. They moved fast, sticking to the edges, the port a faint glow ahead. Selena's mind raced, piecing together Isabella's warnings, Jake's lies, and Ellie's debt. The diary's princess had trusted the wrong heart, and Selena feared she was following the same path. A shout shattered the quiet. 3 figures emerged from the dark, their faces masked, knives glinting. The amulet! One growled, lunging for Selena. Lucas shoved her behind him, grappling with the attacker. Ellie swung her bag, catching another in the face, but the third grabbed Selena's arm, twisting hard. She kicked, her sneaker connecting with his knee, and he staggered, cursing. Run! Lucas shouted, pinning his opponent. Selena grabbed Ellie, sprinting toward the port, her bag bouncing. The diaries weighed a reminder of why they were targets. The attackers fell back, but their footsteps echoed, relentless. At the port, they ducked behind a stack of crates, panting, the ferry's lights a beacon. Ellie's voice shook. They're not stopping, Selena. This is bigger than us. I know, Selena said, her breath ragged. But we're not done. She turned to Lucas, who'd caught up, blood trickling from a cut on his cheek. You okay? He nodded, but his eyes were haunted. They wanted the amulet, not us. Someone's talking, Selena. His gaze flicked to Ellie, and Selena's stomach knotted. Was it her, or was Lucas deflecting? On the ferry to Europe, the sea churned under a starless sky. Selena sat in a corner, the amulet in her hand, its hawk staring back. Ellie slept fitfully nearby, her face drawn. Lucas stood by the railing, his silence a wall. Selena opened the diary, needing the princess's voice to ground her. The words were clearer now. The heart's lock demands truth, but truth cuts deepest. The princess had loved a knight, betrayed by her own blood. Selena's own betrayals, Jake's, Ellie's, maybe Lucas's, felt like echoes. In Istanbul, the city's sprawl was a new kind of chaos, minarets piercing the dawn. The clue where empires clash led to the Hagia Sophia, a place of colliding histories. Lucas knew a contact, a curator who could point them to a hidden vault. But as they navigated the crowded streets, Selena's phone buzzed, a new text from an unknown number. You can't run forever. The hawk sees all. Her blood ran cold. The circle was here too. At the Hagia Sophia, the curator, an older woman named Alira, studied the amulet, her glasses slipping down her nose. This is Nasrid, but its twin lies below in a sealed chamber. You'll need cunning to reach it. She led them to a side passage, its stones worn by centuries. Selena's heart raced as they descended, the amulet warm in her hand. But at the chamber's door a trap sprang, a net dropping from above, pinning Ellie and Lucas. Selena dodged, her scream caught in her throat. A figure stepped from the shadows, Jake Riley, his grin gone, his eyes desperate. I tried to warn you, Selena. Give me the amulet and they walk. The circle's done playing. Her hand tightened on the amulet, the diary's words ringing. Truth cuts deepest. Jake was the enemy, but his fear was real. Was he trapped like Ellie? Or was this the final betrayal? The chamber's door loomed, the heart's lock waiting, but Selena was out of moves, and the hawk's shadow was falling. Selena Gomez stood frozen in the Hagia Sophia's dim passage, the gold amulet clutched in her hand, its hawk engraving a silent judge. The net pinning Ellie Ward and Lucas Marquez creaked above, their muffled curses echoing. Jake Riley faced her, his rugged face stripped of its usual grin, his eyes desperate. Give me the amulet, Selena, he said, his voice low, urgent. The circle's not playing. They'll kill them if you don't. The chamber's sealed door loomed behind him, the heart's lock so close, but Selena's world was unraveling. Ellie's debt to Isabella Vera, Lucas's half-told secrets, and now Jake's betrayal, or was it a plea? The diary in her bag felt like a bomb. Its princess's words, truth cuts deepest, a warning she couldn't shake. Her heart pounded as she met Jake's gaze. You stole the pendant, Jake. You've been feeding them our moves. Why should I trust you now? Her voice was steady, but fear clawed at her. Ellie's muffled shout, don't do it, Selena, cut through sharp with loyalty. Jake's hands rose, palms out. I took the pendant to buy time. The circle's got my sister, Selena. They've had her for months. I'm not with them, I'm trapped. His voice cracked, raw, and for a moment, she saw the man behind the mask, not the snake she'd pegged him for. Lucas struggled under the net, his voice strained. He's lying, Selena. Don't give him anything. His dark eyes burned into hers, but his own secrets, his vanished mentor, his cryptic glances made her hesitate. Who was the real threat? Selena's fingers tightened on the amulet, her mind racing. The chamber's door was steps away, the next clue within reach, but giving up the amulet meant losing the princess's path. She took a step back, her voice hard. Let them go, Jake. Then we talk. He shook his head, his desperation palpable. I can't. They're watching. Please, Selena, I'm begging you. His eyes flicked to the shadows and she followed his gaze, catching a glint, maybe a camera, maybe a weapon. The shadow circle was here and she was out of time. Ellie's voice broke through again, softer now. Selena, whatever you do, keep the diary. It's bigger than us. The words hit like a vow, and Selena's resolve hardened. She couldn't lose Ellie or Lucas, but the diary was her anchor, the princess's truth her guide. Fine, Selena said, her voice cold. Take it. She tossed the amulet to Jake, her heart lurching as he caught it. He nodded, relief flooding his face, and pressed a hidden switch. The net released, dropping Ellie and Lucas in a heap. But before Selena could move, Jake bolted, the amulet with him, vanishing into the passage's dark. Lucas scrambled up, cursing. We have to go after him. But Selena grabbed his arm, her eyes on the chamber door. No. The clue's in there. Jake's a problem for later. Her voice was firm, but inside she was reeling. Had she just saved her friends or doomed them all? Ellie rubbed her wrists, her face pale but fierce. You're crazy, Selena, but I'm with you. She glanced at Lucas, her trust in him as shaky as Selena's. The chamber was small, its walls etched with faded mosaics, a mix of Moorish and Byzantine swirls. A stone pedestal held a single object, a silver locket, its surface engraved with a crescent moon and a hawk. Selena's breath caught as she opened it, finding a tiny scroll inside. The words in the princess's hand were a gut punch. I gave my heart to save him, but blood betrayed us. The lock waits in Granada where my tears fell. The princess had sacrificed everything for love, only to be undone by her own kin. Selena's own betrayals, Jake's, Ellie's debt, Lucas's secrets mirrored it too closely. Lucas read over her shoulder, his voice soft. Granada. The Alhambra. It's calling us back. His hand brushed hers, a spark she felt but couldn't trust. Not yet. Ellie's phone buzzed, shattering the moment. She glanced at it, her face paling. It's Isabella. She knows we're in Istanbul. Says she's coming for the diary. Her voice trembled, guilt and fear mixing. Selena's blood ran cold. Isabella Vera, the puppeteer behind Ellie's death, was closing in. How does she know? She asked, her eyes flicking to Lucas, then Ellie. Someone was leaking, and the circle was one step ahead. Lucas's face darkened. We need to move. Istanbul's not safe. But as they slipped out of the Hagia Sophia, blending into the dawn crowds, Selena felt eyes on her. The locket was in her pocket, the diary in her bag, but the amulet was gone, and Jake's words haunted her. Was he a victim, or had she just handed the circle their win? Back at a cheap Istanbul hostel, Selena pored over the diary, the princess's story clearer now. She'd loved a Christian knight defying her family, hiding a treasure to protect their bond. But her brother, driven by honor, had betrayed her, sealing her fate. The locket scroll hinted at a final lock in the Alhambra, where the princess's tears, maybe a fountain, held the key. Selena's own tears pricked as she thought of Ellie's guilt, Lucas's hidden truths, her own doubts. Fame had never felt so hollow. Ellie sat across, her voice small. I'm sorry, Selena. I should have told you about Isabella sooner. I thought I could handle it. Her eyes begged forgiveness and Selena wanted to give it, but the wound was fresh. Lucas broke the silence, his voice tense. We fly to Granada tonight. The locket's our guide, but Isabella's not working alone. The circle's got someone close. His eyes lingered on Ellie, and Selena's heart sank. Was it her? Or was Lucas deflecting again? As they packed, a knock rattled the door. Selena opened it to find a note, slipped under in Isabella's sharp script. You cannot hide. The diary is mine. Her breath hitched. Isabella was here, and the locket's weight felt like a noose. The Alhambra waited, but so did a trap, and Selena was running out of allies to trust. Selena Gomez gripped the silver locket, its crescent moon and hawk engraving a fragile link to the princess's truth. Back in Granada, the Alhambra loomed outside her hotel window, its ancient walls mocking her unraveling quest. The diary's latest clue, the lock waits where my tears fell, pointed to a fountain in the palace, but betrayal was choking her. Ellie Ward's debt to Isabella Vera, exposed in Istanbul, had fractured their bond. Lucas Marquez's half-told past, tied to a vanished mentor, was a shadow she couldn't shake. And Jake Riley, stealing the amulet for the shadow circle, or maybe to save his sister, was a ghost she couldn't outrun. Isabella's note, you cannot hide. The diary is mine, sat crumpled on the table, a fresh wound. Selena's world was splintering, and the circle was closing in. Ellie sat across from her, her blonde ponytail loose, her blue eyes raw with guilt. Selena, I know I screwed up. Isabella's been texting, threatening to collect if I don't give her the diary. I haven't, I swear. Her voice trembled, begging for trust Selena wasn't sure she could give. Selena's fingers traced the locket, her voice tight. I want to believe you, Ellie, but you kept this from me. How do I know you're not leaking to her? The words hurt, but she needed truth, not loyalty. Ellie's face crumpled. I'm trying to fix it. I'll cut her off, whatever it takes. But her phone buzzed and she flinched, silencing it. Selena's stomach knotted. Isabella's reach was relentless. Lucas burst in, his dark curls damp from the Granada rain, his face grim. We've got trouble. The film crew's talking. Someone leaked you're chasing Alhambra relics. It's all over social media. He tossed his phone on the table, a blurry post showing Selena at the Hagia Sophia, tagged with hashtag Alhambra treasure. Your fans think it's a stunt, but the circle knows it's real. Selena's heart sank. Her fame, the one thing she tried to outrun, was now a spotlight. How'd this get out? She asked, her eyes flicking to Ellie, then Lucas. One of you talk? Lucas's jaw tightened. Not me. But Jake's still out there. He could have spread it to throw us off. His voice was steady, but his scar caught the light, a reminder of his own hidden past. Ellie stood, her voice sharp. Don't look at me. I'm not the one cozying up to shady historians. Her glare at Lucas was a dare, and the room crackled with distrust. Selena slammed the locket down, her patience gone. Enough. We're falling apart and the circle's winning. The locket's clue says a fountain in the Alhambra. We go tonight together and we end this. Her voice shook, not with fear but resolve. Fame, betrayal, doubt, none of it would stop her. The Alhambra at midnight was a ghost of itself, its courtyard silent, the air thick with jasmine and secrets. Selena led them to the Court of the Myrtles, where a long rectangular fountain shimmered under the moon. The diary's words, "Where my tears fell," felt alive here. The water a mirror for the princess's grief. Lucas knelt by the fountain's edge, tracing a faint hawk etched into the stone. "This is it," he said, his voice low. "The locket fits here." Selena opened the locket, the tiny scroll inside trembling in her fingers. She fitted it into a slot beneath the hawk, and a soft click echoed. The fountain's base shifted, revealing a small carved box. Inside was a crystal vial, its liquid catching the moonlight, labeled Lagermus in the princess's script. Tears. The princess's final gift. Ellie's breath caught. "That's beautiful. And creepy. What's it do?" Lucas's face darkened. "It's the key to the final lock, but it's cursed. The princess wrote of a sacrifice. Whoever uses it pays a price." His eyes met Selena's, a warning she felt in her bones. Before she could reply, a shadow moved in the courtyard. Isabella Vera stepped forward, her silver braid gleaming, her smile cold. "You've done well, Selena. But the vial is not yours." Two men flanked her, their faces hard, shadow circle muscle. "Give me the diary and you walk away." Selena's grip tightened on the vial, her heart racing. "You're the one pulling strings, Isabella. Ellie's debt, the leaks, the attacks. Why do you want it so bad?" Isabella's eyes narrowed. "The diary is power. The circle guards it, but I answer to no one. Hand it over or your friends bleed." Her blade glinted, aimed at Ellie. Ellie stepped forward, her voice fierce. "Back off, witch. I'm done being your pawn." She glanced at Selena, a silent apology, and Selena's heart twisted. Ellie was fighting for her, despite everything. Lucas moved, shielding Selena. "You're not getting it, Isabella. Run while you can." His voice was steel, but Selena saw fear in his eyes, not for himself but for her. The standoff broke as Isabella's men lunged. Lucas tackled one, fists flying, while Ellie dodged the other, grabbing a loose stone to swing. Selena clutched the vial, sprinting for the courtyard's exit, but Isabella was faster, her blade grazing Selena's arm. Pain flared, but she kept running, the diary in her bag, the vial her lifeline. They escaped into Granada streets, panting, blood trickling from Selena's cut. The vial was safe, but Isabella's words echoed. "The diary is power." Back at the hotel, Selena's phone lit up with notifications, the social media storm now a wildfire. Her career was teetering, her face plastered online as a treasure-hunting diva. The circle had weaponized her fame, and Isabella was one step behind. Lucas cleaned her wound, his touch gentle but his voice urgent. "The vial's the final key, Selena. But the princess's curse, it's real. We need to know what we're risking." His eyes held hers, a spark she couldn't ignore, but his secret still lingered. Ellie sat apart, her face drawn. "I'll deal with Isabella," she said, her voice hard. "I owe you that." But her phone buzzed again, and Selena's trust wavered. The diary's next clue was a single line. "The heart's lock opens with tears, but only the brave face the cost." The Alhambra held the final answer, but the price was coming due. Selena slipped the vial into her pocket, its weight a promise and a threat. Isabella was hunting, the circle was watching, and her team was breaking. The fountain's tears were hers now, but whose blood would they demand? Selena Gomez sat in a dimly lit Granada cafe, the crystal vial labeled Lagermus glinting in her hand, its liquid catching the flicker of a candle. The diary's latest clue, "The heart's lock opens with tears, but only the brave face the cost," burned in her mind, pointing to a final lock in the Alhambra. But the weight of betrayal was crushing her. Ellie Ward's debt to Isabella Vera had nearly cost them everything, and her promise to cut ties felt fragile. Lucas Marquez's secrets, tied to a vanished mentor and the Shadow Circle, were a splinter in her trust. Jake Riley's theft of the amulet, whether to save his sister or serve the Circle, was a wound that wouldn't heal. And now Selena's face was plastered across the internet, her treasure hunt a viral scandal threatening her career. The cafe's hum felt like a trap, every glance a potential spy. Ellie slumped across from her, her blonde ponytail frayed, her eyes red from sleeplessness. Selena, I'm handling Isabella. I sent her a message, told her I'm out. She's pissed, but I'm done. Her voice was firm, but her hands shook, betraying her fear. Selena's grip tightened on the vial, her voice low. You should have been done months ago, Ellie. She almost gutted me last night. How do I know you're not still her puppet? The words cut, but she needed truth, not promises. Ellie flinched, her voice breaking. I know I messed up. But I'm here, Selena. I'm fighting for you. Her phone stayed silent, a small victory, but Selena's doubt lingered. Lucas slid into the booth, his dark curls damp from the morning mist, his scar stark under the cafe's light. The vial's our last shot, he said, his voice urgent. The clue points to the Comaris Tower, a hidden chamber. But the curse, Selena, it's real. The princess paid with her life. We need to be ready. His eyes held hers, a mix of fear and something deeper. A spark she felt but couldn't trust. Selena nodded, her resolve hardening. Then we go tonight. But no more secrets, Lucas. You've been dodging too long. What's your deal with the circle? Her tone was sharp, daring him to lie. Lucas's jaw tightened, his voice low. My mentor, he wasn't just a historian. He was circle high up. He trained me, then tried to pull me in. I refused and he disappeared. I've been running from them since. His eyes dropped, shame flickering. I didn't tell you because I thought I could protect you. Selena's heart twisted. Truth finally, but it didn't erase the lies. You should have trusted me, she said, her voice soft but firm. We're a team or we're nothing. Ellie's phone buzzed, shattering the moment. She glanced at it, her face paling. It's not Isabella. It's Jake. He's back in Granada, says he's got the amulet and wants to trade for a truce. Her voice trembled, uncertainty creeping in. Selena's blood ran cold. Jake again, dangling bait. It's a trap, she said, her eyes flicking to Lucas. But we can't ignore it. If he's got the amulet, we need it. The diary's princess had faced a choice, love or duty, and paid with blood. Selena felt the same fork in her path. Lucas leaned forward, his voice hard. We meet him, but on our terms. Somewhere public. And we go armed. His hand brushed hers, a silent vow, and Selena's pulse jumped, caught between trust and caution. They met Jake at Plaza Nueva, the same fountain where they'd found the pendant weeks ago. The square buzzed with tourists, but Jake stood alone, his leather jacket scuffed, his eyes haunted. He held the gold amulet, its hawk glinting. I'm not your enemy, Selena, he said, his voice raw. The circle's got my sister. I took the amulet to buy her freedom, but they lied. I want out. Selena's heart wavered, but her voice was steel. Prove it, Jake. Give me the amulet and tell me what you know. He hesitated, then tossed it to her. She caught it, its weight a lifeline. The circle's leader, they call him the custodian, Jake said. He's obsessed with the diary, says it's a map to power, not just treasure. They're watching you, Selena. Someone close is feeding them. His eyes flicked to Ellie, then Lucas, and Selena's stomach nodded. Ellie stepped forward, her voice fierce. Don't look at me, Riley. You're the one who sold us out. But her guilt hung heavy, and Selena saw it. Lucas's hand tensed, his voice low. We're done here, Jake. Walk away or you won't. Jake nodded, backing off, but his warning echoed. Someone close. That night, the Comaris Tower loomed, its intricate tiles hiding the final lock. Selena led them through the Alhambra's shadows, the vial and amulet in her pocket, the diary her guide. The tower's upper chamber was a maze of arches, but Lucas found a stone panel etched with a hawk. The vial's liquid, the princess's tears, fit a carved groove, and the panel slid open, revealing a spiral stair descending into darkness. Selena's heart raced. This is it, she whispered, but Lucas grabbed her arm, his face grim. The curse, Selena. The princess's brother betrayed her here. Someone always pays. His eyes searched hers, fear for her raw in them. Ellie's voice cut through, sharp. Then we face it together. No more running. Her hand squeezed Selena's, a flicker of their old bond, but her phone buzzed again and she silenced it, her face pale. As they descended, a noise echoed above, footsteps, deliberate. Selena's breath caught. Isabella? Jake? The circle? The stair led to a sealed door, its lock shaped for the amulet. She fitted it in, her hands trembling, and the door groaned open, revealing a chamber aglow with ancient lamps. But before she could step inside, Ellie's scream pierced the air. "Selena, behind you!" She spun, but too late. A figure in black lunged, knocking the diary from her hands. Lucas tackled them, but another shadow grabbed Ellie, dragging her back. Selena dove for the diary, her heart in her throat, but a voice hissed from the dark, cold and familiar. "You're too late, Miss Gomez." The chamber's glow flickered and Ellie was gone, a note in her place. "The heart demands a sacrifice." Selena's world tilted, the vial's weight unbearable. Ellie, her anchor, was taken, and the circle had played their final card. The chamber waited, but at what cost? Selena Gomez stood in the Comares Tower's hidden chamber, her heart pounding as the diary lay at her feet, the note in Ellie Ward's place searing her mind. The heart demands a sacrifice. Ellie was gone, snatched by the shadow circle in a blur of shadows and steel. The crystal vial labeled Lagermiss weighed heavy in Selena's pocket, its liquid glinting like a curse. Lucas Marquez knelt beside her, his dark curls matted with sweat, his scar stark as he checked the chamber's entrance. The amulet had unlocked the door, revealing a glowing labyrinth of ancient lamps and carved walls, but the cost was already too high. The diary's clue, "The heart's lock opens with tears," had led them here, but Selena's world was fracturing, and the circle was one step ahead. "Lucas, we have to find her," Selena said, her voice raw, trembling with rage and fear. She grabbed the diary, its leather cover a lifeline. "They took Ellie to break us. We can't let them win." Her hazel eyes burned into his, daring him to falter. Lucas's jaw tightened, his voice low. "We will, Selena. But this chamber, it's the heart of the princess's secret. The circle wants us here distracted. We need to be smart." His hand brushed hers, steadying her, but his own fear was palpable, a mirror of her own. Selena's grip on the vial tightened, the princess's words echoing. "Only the brave face the cost." Ellie's scream still rang in her ears, and Isabella Vera's shadow loomed, her threats tying Ellie's debt to this moment. Jake Riley's cryptic truce, claiming the circle held his sister, muddied her trust further. And Lucas, his past with the circle's mentor, was a splinter she couldn't pull. "Smart's not enough," she said, her voice hardening. "We go in, find the lock and get Ellie back. No more waiting." Lucas nodded, his eyes searching the chamber's glowing walls, etched with hawks and crescent moons. "The vial's the key. There's a lock here somewhere. But the circle's watching. They knew we'd open the door." He pointed to a narrow passage, its shadows deep, inviting and dangerous. Selena led the way, the diary in her bag, the vial in her hand. The passage twisted, its air thick with dust and time, the lamps casting eerie flickers. Her sneakers scuffed ancient tiles, each step a defiance of the note's warning. The labyrinth felt alive, the princess's grief woven into its stones. Selena's own grief for Ellie, for her shattered trust, mirrored it, pushing her forward. A soft scrape stopped her. Lucas tensed, his hand on her arm. "We're not alone," he whispered, his breath warm against her ear. Footsteps echoed, deliberate, from the passage's depths. Selena's heart raced as she tucked the vial into her pocket, her eyes scanning the dark. A figure emerged, cloaked, their face hidden. "You're persistent, Miss Gomez," they said, their voice distorted, mechanical. "But the heart's lock isn't yours." Selena stepped forward, her voice steel. "Where's Ellie? Let her go, and maybe you walk away." Her bravado masked her fear, but the diary's weight grounded her. The figure laughed, cold and sharp. "Your friend's alive for now. The diary, the vial, give them to us and she's free." They stepped closer, a blade glinting in their hand. The custodian grows impatient. Lucas moved, shielding Selena. "Back off. You're not getting anything." His voice was a growl, but Selena saw his fear, not for himself but for her. The spark between them flared, unwanted but undeniable. The figure lunged, their blades slicing the air. Selena dodged, grabbing a loose stone from the wall, swinging it hard. It connected and the figure staggered, their mask slipping to reveal a stranger's face, hard and scarred. Lucas tackled them, pinning them, but more footsteps echoed, closing in. "Selena, run!" he shouted, struggling to hold the attacker. She hesitated, her heart screaming to stay, but the passage led deeper to the lock. She sprinted, the diary bouncing in her bag, the vial a beacon. The labyrinth twisted, its walls narrowing, until she stumbled into a circular chamber, its center a stone altar. A slot shaped for the vial glowed faintly, etched with a hawk. The heart's lock. Her hands shook as she fitted the vial into the slot. A soft hum filled the air, and the altar shifted, revealing a small ornate box. Inside was a golden heart, its surface engraved with the princess's crescent moon, pulsing with a faint light. Selena's breath caught. This was it, the treasure, not gold but something more, a symbol of love and sacrifice. But the chamber was empty. No Ellie, no answers. The note's words, the heart demands a sacrifice, hit like a blade. Had she traded Ellie for this? Footsteps pounded behind her and she spun, expecting Lucas. Instead, Jake Riley stumbled in, blood on his jacket, his eyes wild. "Selena, they've got her," he gasped. "The circle. I tried to stop them, but they're taking her to the Alhambra's vaults." Selena's heart lurched. "Why should I believe you, Jake? You've lied before." Her voice was ice, but his desperation felt real, too much like her own. He grabbed her arm, his voice breaking. "Because I've lost everything. My sister's gone, Selena. They lied to me too. Help me save Ellie, please." His eyes held hers raw, and for the first time she saw the man, not the traitor. Before she could answer, a shout echoed from the passage. Lucas burst in, blood on his knuckles, his face grim. "They're coming, Selena. We need to move." His eyes flicked to Jake, narrowing. What's he doing here? Selena clutched the golden heart, her mind racing. The chamber was a trap, the circle's ambush closing in. Ellie was out there, and the heart was her only leverage. "We're not leaving without her," she said, her voice steady despite the chaos. "Jake says she's in the vaults. We go now." Lucas's face darkened, but he nodded. "Then we fight." His hand brushed hers, a vow, but Jake's presence was a wild card, and the circle's shadows were everywhere. As they ran from the chamber, the golden heart in her pocket, Selena felt the princess's curse tightening. The Alhambra's vaults waited, but so did the custodian, and Ellie's life hung on a choice Selena wasn't ready to make. Selena Gomez ran through the Alhambra's shadowed passages, the golden heart heavy in her pocket, its faint pulse a reminder of the princess's sacrifice. The diary, tucked in her bag, felt like a tether to Ellie Ward, now a captive of the shadow circle. Jake Riley's claim that Ellie was in the palace's vaults drove her forward, but his bloodied jacket and desperate eyes muddied her trust. Lucas Marquez ran beside her, his dark curls matted, his knuckles raw from fighting off the circle's ambush in the labyrinth. The note's warning, "The heart demands a sacrifice," echoed with every step, and Selena's fear for Ellie was a blade in her chest. The custodian, the circle's unseen leader, was close, and the truth was about to break. "Selena, slow down," Lucas said, his voice low, urgent. "The vaults are a maze. If Jake's lying, we're walking into a trap." His hand grazed her arm, steadying her, but his eyes flicked to Jake, distrust burning. Selena's breath hitched, her voice sharp. "We don't have a choice, Lucas. Ellie's down there. If Jake's playing us, I'll deal with him." She glanced at Jake, his rugged face pale, his claim about his sister's death ringing too raw to dismiss. "You said the vaults, Jake. Where?" Jake pointed to a narrow stair descending from the Comaris Tower. "There's a sealed door, old Nazareth tunnels. The circle uses them. I saw them take Ellie that way." His voice cracked, guilt and fear mixing. "I'm not lying, Selena. Not this time." Lucas's jaw tightened. "You've got a shitty track record, Riley. If this goes south, you're the first one down." His tone was steel, but Selena saw his fear, not for himself but for her. The spark between them flared, a distraction she couldn't afford. The stair spiraled into darkness, the air thick with dust and damp stone. Selena's sneakers scuffed ancient tiles, the golden heart's weight grounding her. The diary's princess had faced betrayal here, her brother's honor costing her love and life. Selena's own betrayals, Ellie's debt, Jake's lies, Lucas's secrets mirrored it, each step a test of her resolve. The vaults loomed, a warren of tunnels lit by faint, flickering lamps, their shadows dancing like ghosts. A soft cry stopped her, Ellie's voice, muffled but unmistakable. "Selena!" It came from a side passage and Selena's heart leapt, her fear giving way to fury. She sprinted, Lucas and Jake behind her, the passage narrowing until it opened into a cavernous chamber. Ellie was there, bound to a chair, her blonde ponytail loose, her face bruised but defiant. A cloaked figure stood beside her, their face hidden, a blade at Ellie's throat. "Welcome, Miss Gomez," the figure said, their voice distorted, cold. "You've brought the heart. Good." They stepped forward and Selena's blood froze as the cloak fell, revealing a face she knew: Isabella Vera. The silver-haired antiquities dealer, Ellie's creditor, was the custodian, the circle's puppet master. Selena's voice shook with rage. "Isabella? You're the custodian? You played us from the start." Her hand tightened on the golden heart, the diaries weighed a shield. Ellie's debt, the leaks, the attacks all led back to her. Isabella's smile was sharp, her eyes gleaming. "The diary is power, Selena. The princess hid a truth that could reshape history, and I've guarded it for decades. You were a means to an end." She gestured to Ellie, her blade glinting. "Give me the heart, the diary, and she lives." Ellie struggled, her voice fierce. "Don't, Selena. She'll kill us anyway." Her eyes met Selena's, a vow of loyalty despite her guilt, and Selena's heart cracked. Lucas stepped forward, his voice low. "You're done, Isabella. Let her go, or you're not leaving this vault." His fists clenched, but Selena saw his fear, his past with the circle crashing into this moment. Jake's voice cut through raw. "She's lying, Selena. She killed my sister when I gave her the amulet. Don't trust her." His desperation was a mirror of Selena's, and for the first time she believed him. Isabella laughed, her blade pressing closer to Ellie's throat. "Trust is your weakness, Selena. The princess learned that too. Her brother betrayed her for honor, and you'll lose for love." Her words stung, the diary's truth a blade. The golden heart was the key, but its price was blood. Selena's mind raced, her hand slipping into her pocket, the vials liquid a faint hope. "You want the heart?" she said, her voice steady. "Take it." She tossed the golden heart to the ground, its clatter a distraction. As Isabella lunged for it, Selena dove, tackling her, the blade skittering across the stone. Lucas freed Ellie, while Jake grappled with the circle thug emerging from the shadows. The chamber erupted, fists and shouts echoing. Selena pinned Isabella, her rage fueling her. "You're done," she hissed, but Isabella's smile was cold, her strength surprising. "Not yet," she snarled, twisting free, grabbing the heart. She bolted for a side tunnel, her laughter echoing. Selena scrambled up, Ellie at her side, Lucas and Jake panting. The diary was safe, but the heart was gone, and Isabella was still out there. Ellie grabbed Selena's hand, her voice breaking. "I'm so sorry, Selena. I should have fought harder." Her bruises were a testament, and Selena pulled her close, forgiveness a quiet balm. Lucas's face was grim, blood on his knuckles. "She's got the heart but not the lock. The diary's still ours." His eyes met Selena's, a vow, but his next words hit like a blow. "I knew Isabella was circles, Selena. My mentor trained her too. I didn't tell you because I thought I could stop her." Selena's heart sank, his betrayal a fresh wound. "You knew." Her voice was quiet, but the hurt was loud. "All this time, Lucas, and you let us walk into her trap?" He reached for her, but she stepped back. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice raw. "I thought I could protect you." But the spark between them flickered, trust a casualty of truth. Jake's voice broke the silence, hoarse. "There's another clue, Selena. The vault's walls, I saw a hawk carving. It's not over." His eyes were haunted, his sister's loss a weight he carried, and Selena nodded, her resolve hardening. The chamber's walls held a faint etching, a hawk over a fountain, the princess's tears again. The lock was close, but Isabella had the heart, and the circle was still hunting. Selena clutched the diary, Ellie's hand in hers, Lucas's betrayal a shadow. The Alhambra's secrets were unraveling, but the custodian's face was only the beginning, and the true cost was yet to come. Selena Gomez stood in the Alhambra's vaulted chamber, the diary clutched tight, its pages a lifeline to the princess's truth. The hawk carving on the wall, etched over a fountain, was their last clue, but Isabella Vera's escape with the golden heart had tilted the game. Ellie Ward leaned against her, her bruises a stark reminder of the shadow circle's reach. her loyalty now unwavering despite her past debt. Lucas Marquez's betrayal, knowing Isabella was the custodian and staying silent, burned in Selena's chest, his dark eyes pleading for forgiveness she wasn't ready to give. Jake Riley, bloodied and broken by the Circle's lies about his sister, was an uneasy ally, his desperation mirroring her own. The diary's words, "The heart's lock opens with tears," pointed to a final act, but the cost was closing in, and Selena's resolve was all she had left. She traced the hawk carving, her voice steady despite the chaos. "This fountain, it's the lock. The princess's tears, the vial, it all comes back here." Her hazel eyes flicked to Lucas, daring him to hold back again. "You knew Isabella was Circle, Lucas. What else do you know about this place?" Lucas's jaw tightened, his scar catching the chamber's faint light. "The vaults were her sanctuary," he said, his voice low, raw. "My mentor said the princess hid her truth here. A power beyond gold. The heart unlocks it, but the tears seal it. I didn't know Isabella was the custodian until tonight, Selena. I swear." His eyes held hers, a spark of the man she trusted, but the wound was fresh. Ellie's voice cut through, sharp but steady. "Save the soap opera, Lucas. We need to move before Isabella comes back with her goons." Her blonde ponytail was frayed, but her fight was back, her hand squeezing Selena's in silent apology. Jake nodded, his rugged face grim. "She's got the heart, but we've got the diary. The Circle's desperate, Selena. They'll kill to stop you." His voice cracked, his sister's loss a shadow, but his eyes were clear, an ally for now. Selena opened the diary, the princess's final entry, a beacon. "My tears fall where love and stone embrace, the heart's truth eternal." The vial, labeled Logrimus, was gone, used to open the last chamber, but the fountain's carving was a match, its basin etched with a crescent moon. She knelt, her fingers finding a hidden slot, shaped for the golden heart. "This is it," she said, her heart racing. "But without the heart, we're stuck." Lucas's face darkened. "Isabella will come for the lock. She needs it to finish what the princess started." His hand brushed hers, a plea, but Selena pulled back, her trust fractured. Ellie's phone buzzed, a rare signal in the vaults. She glanced at it, her face paling. "It's her. Isabella. She's offering a trade, the heart for the diary. Says she's in the court of the lions." Her voice trembled, but her eyes were fierce. "It's a trap, Selena, but we can't let her keep it." Selena's mind spun. The court of the lions, where this began, where she'd found the diary. The princess's story was a circle, love and betrayal looping back. "We go," she said, her voice steel. "But we play it smart. Jake, you're with us. No games." Jake nodded, his hands unsteady. "I'm in. For Ellie, for my sister." His raw honesty hit Selena, a flicker of trust she hadn't expected. The court of the lions was a moonlit dream, its slender columns casting long shadows, the fountain's murmur a ghost of the princess's tears. Isabella stood by the water, the golden heart glinting in her hand, her silver braids stark against her black cloak. Two Circle thugs flanked her, their eyes hard. "You're predictable, Selena," she said, her voice smooth, cutting. "The diary now, or the heart is lost forever." Selena stepped forward, the diary in her bag, her heart pounding. "You're not the only one who knows this game, Isabella. Give me the heart and we walk away." Her voice was calm, but her hand hovered near the bronze key in her pocket, a last resort. Isabella's laugh was cold. "You're brave but foolish. The heart is power, the diary its map. I'll have both." She raised the heart, its glow eerie, and Selena saw the truth. The heart wasn't gold, but a relic, a symbol of the princess's love, eternal and cursed. Ellie moved, her voice fierce. "You're done, Isabella. We're not your pawns anymore." She lunged, surprising the thugs, and chaos erupted. Lucas tackled one, his fists flying, while Jake grappled with the other, his desperation a weapon. Selena dove for Isabella, grabbing the heart, but Isabella's blade slashed, grazing her shoulder. Pain flared, but Selena held on, wrestling the heart free. "Run!" Lucas shouted, pinning his opponent. Selena sprinted for the vaults, Ellie and Jake behind her, the heart's pulse syncing with her own. Isabella's scream echoed, "You'll pay for this!" But the fountain's murmur drowned her out. Back in the vaulted chamber, Selena fitted the heart into the fountain's slot, her hands trembling. A soft hum filled the air, and the basin shifted, revealing a hidden niche. Inside was a scroll, the princess's final truth. My love lives in the heart, unbound by stone. The brave carry it, the curse guard it. The relic was the love itself. Not power but a legacy of sacrifice. Lucas's voice was soft, awed. It's not treasure, Selena. It's her story, her defiance. His eyes met hers, a spark reigniting. But Selena's heart was with Ellie, safe now, her bruises a testament. Jake's face was grim. The circle won't stop. Isabella's still out there. His warning was a shadow, but Selena felt the scroll's weight. A victory. Ellie grabbed her hand, her voice breaking. You did it, Selena. We did it. But her eyes flicked to the passage where footsteps echoed, Isabella's voice rising. The heart is mine, Selena. You can't escape the cost. Selena's blood ran cold. The scroll was theirs, but Isabella's deal was a trap, and the circle's reach was endless. The princess's love was free, but the Alhambra held one last secret, and Selena's fight was far from over. Selena Gomez stood in the Alhambra's vaulted chamber. The princess's scroll clutched in her hand, its words a quiet thunder. My love lives in the heart, unbound by stone. The golden heart, now fitted into the fountain's lock, had revealed the truth, not a treasure of gold, but a legacy of love and defiance. Ellie Ward gripped her arm, her bruises fading but her eyes fierce with loyalty. Lucas Marquez scanned the shadows, his dark curls matted, his scar a stark reminder of his fractured trust. Jake Riley, bloodied but resolute, stood as an uneasy ally, his sister's loss fueling his fight. Isabella Vera's voice echoed from the passage. The heart is mine, Selena. A promise of violence. The shadow circle was closing in, and the diary's final secret was a spark in a powder keg. Selena's heart raced, the scroll's weight grounding her. We're not done, she said, her voice steady despite the fear. The princess's love is free, but Isabella wants it caged. We end this now. Her hazel eyes flicked to Lucas, his betrayal still raw, but his fight was hers for now. Ellie's voice was sharp, her ponytail swinging. She's got backup, Selena. We can't take them all. Her hand trembled, but her resolve was iron, her debt to Isabella a chain she'd broken. Lucas's jaw tightened, his voice low. The circle's desperate. The scroll's power is its story, not gold. If we destroy it, they lose their prize. His eyes met Selena's, a plea for trust she wasn't sure she could give. Jake stepped forward, his rugged face grim. Burn it, and they'll kill us anyway. We fight, Selena. For Ellie, for my sister. His voice cracked, raw with loss, and Selena nodded, his pain a mirror of her own. Footsteps pounded closer, and Isabella burst into the chamber, her silver braid glinting, her blade drawn. 5 circle thugs flanked her, their eyes cold, weapons ready. You're fools, she hissed, her voice venom. The heart's power is mine. Give me the scroll, Selena, or you all bleed. Her gaze locked on the diary in Selena's bag. Hunger in her eyes. Selena stepped back, the scroll hidden in her hand, her voice steel. You're chasing a ghost, Isabella. The princess's love isn't yours to cage. Walk away, or you're the one who pays. Her bravado masked her fear, the golden heart's faint pulse a reminder of the cost. Isabella laughed, cold and sharp. You're out of moves, child. She lunged, her blade slashing, and chaos erupted. Lucas tackled a thug, his fists a blur, while Ellie swung a loose stone, catching another in the jaw. Jake grappled with a third, his desperation a weapon, but Selena's focus was Isabella, her blade grazing Selena's arm. Pain flared, but she dodged, clutching the scroll, the diary bouncing in her bag. Ellie, the fountain! Selena shouted, an idea sparking. The princess's tears had unlocked the heart. Maybe they could end this. Ellie nodded, sprinting to the basin, her hands searching for a mechanism. Lucas pinned his opponent, blood on his knuckles, his voice raw. Selena, whatever you're doing, do it fast. Isabella's blade swung again, but Selena dove, rolling across the stone. She grabbed the diary, its pages fluttering, and tossed it to Ellie. Burn it if you have to, she yelled, her heart lurching. The diary was everything, but Ellie's life was more. Ellie caught it, her eyes wide, but she found a lever in the fountain, pulling hard. A rumble shook the chamber and water surged, flooding the basin, the golden heart glowing brighter. The scroll's words flashed in Selena's mind. The brave carry it. She lunged for Isabella, tackling her into the water, the scroll slipping from her hand, dissolving in the flood. Isabella screamed, her blade falling, her power unraveling as the heart's glow faded. The thugs faltered, their resolve breaking. Lucas and Jake pushed back, driving them into the passage, but Jake took a blade to the side, collapsing with a grunt. Selena scrambled to him, her hands shaking. "Jake, stay with me." His blood soaked her fingers, his eyes fluttering, but he managed a weak grin. "Worth it for her," he whispered, his sister's memory a ghost. Ellie pulled Selena up, her voice breaking. "He's hurt bad, Selena. We need to go." The diary was soaked, its pages ruined, but the princess's truth lived in Selena's heart, a legacy of love over power. Isabella was gone, vanished in the chaos, her thugs retreating, but the chamber felt alive, the heart's pulse a warning. Lucas helped lift Jake, his face grim. "The circle's not done, Selena. Isabella's out there, and the heart's power, it's in you now." His eyes held hers, a spark reigniting, but his betrayal lingered, a scar they'd both carry. They stumbled from the vaults, Jake's weight heavy, his breath shallow. Granada's dawn was breaking, the Alhambra a silhouette against the sky. Selena's arm bled. Her heart ached, but Ellie was safe, her loyalty a light in the dark. The scroll was gone, the diary ruined, but the princess's story was clear. Love was the treasure, and Selena had carried it. As they reached the street, a shadow moved, Isabella's voice a whisper on the wind. "You've only delayed me, Selena." The circle was wounded, but not dead, and Jake's blood was a price too high. Selena clutched Ellie's hand, Lucas's gaze a silent vow, and the heart's truth pulsed within her. A power she wasn't ready to wield but couldn't escape. Selena Gomez stood outside the Alhambra, Granada's dawn painting the palace in hues of gold and shadow. The princess's truth, a love unbound by stone, pulsed within her, a legacy heavier than the golden heart now lost in the flooded vault. Ellie Ward clung to her side, her bruises fading but her eyes bright with hard-won trust. Lucas Marquez supported Jake Riley, whose bloodied side was bandaged, his shallow breaths a reminder of the cost. The diary, its pages ruined by the fountain's surge, was gone, but its story lived in Selena, a fire the shadow circle couldn't extinguish. Isabella Vera's final whisper, "You've only delayed me," hung like a storm cloud, promising future battles. The fight was over, but the war was not, and Selena's heart was both anchor and wound. She knelt beside Jake, his rugged face pale but his grin stubborn. "You're gonna make it, Jake," she said, her voice soft, urgent. "You fought for us. For her." His sister's memory lingered in his eyes, and Selena's throat tightened, her own losses, trust, innocence mirroring his. Jake's voice was a rasp. "Worth it, Selena. You're the real deal." His hand squeezed hers, weak but warm, and she nodded, tears pricking. He'd been a traitor, then an ally, his redemption written in blood. Ellie's hand found Selena's, her voice steady despite the cracks. "We did it, babe. The princess's story, it's safe. Isabella's got nothing now." Her blonde ponytail caught the light, her loyalty a beacon after her death's shadow. Selena squeezed back, forgiveness a quiet balm. Lucas's dark eyes met hers, his scar stark in the dawn. "The circle's wounded, Selena, but they'll regroup. The heart's power, it's in you, what you carry forward." His voice was raw, his betrayal, knowing Isabella's role in staying silent, a wound they hadn't healed. But his fight in the vault, his fear for her was real, and Selena felt the spark between them, fragile but alive. She stood, the Alhambra's walls a silent witness. "The princess didn't want power," she said, her voice clear, carrying the scroll's truth. "She wanted love to outlive her. We gave her that." Her hazel eyes scanned the palace, its arches whispering of the princess's defiance, a love that defied empires and betrayal. Ambulances wailed in the distance, summoned for Jake, and Selena's heart twisted. Her fame, now a wildfire of rumors and hashtags, was a distant hum. The internet called her a treasure hunter, a diva, but she was more. A woman who'd faced the circle and won at a cost. Ellie's phone buzzed, a news alert about the Alhambra's mysterious flood. And Selena laughed, a raw, tired sound. "Guess we're legends now," she said, her grin bittersweet. Lucas stepped closer, his voice low. "What's next, Selena? The circle's out there, Isabella's not done." His hand hovered near hers, a question, but she didn't take it, not yet. His secrets had cut deep, and trust was a path they'd rebuild slowly. She looked at Ellie, then Jake, her team flawed but fierce. "We live," she said, her voice firm. "We carry the princess's story, not for power but for truth. If Isabella comes, we'll be ready." Her words were a vow, the Alhambra's dawn a promise of new battles. As medics loaded Jake onto a stretcher, he grabbed Selena's hand, his voice a whisper. "Check my bag, Selena. Found something in the vault." His eyes fluttered and she nodded, her heart racing. She rifled through his battered backpack, finding a small sealed pouch. Inside was a single diary page, its ink faded but intact, the princess's hand unmistakable. "The heart's echo waits beyond the stars where love begins anew." Selena's breath caught, the page a spark of mystery. The princess's story wasn't over. A new path hidden in her words. Ellie peered over her shoulder, her voice awed. "What the hell?" Another clue. Her grin was infectious, the thrill of the chase reigniting. Lucas's face darkened, his voice cautious. "It's a warning, Selena. The circle will want that too." But his eyes held hers, a shared fire, and Selena felt the pull. Not just of the mystery, but of him, a future they might forge. She tucked the page into her pocket, the Alhambra's silhouette fading as they walked away. Granada's streets buzzed with morning life, but Selena's world had shifted. The princess's love was hers to carry, a legacy of courage and sacrifice. Isabella and the circle were shadows, waiting. But Selena was no longer the starlet chasing a thrill. She was a keeper of truths, her team her strength, her heart her guide. As they reached the city, a breeze carried the scent of jasmine, and Selena paused, her eyes on the horizon. The stars were gone, but the princess's echo lingered, a whisper of more to come. She smiled, tired but unbroken, and stepped into the light, the next chapter unwritten but hers to claim. Thank you for listening to these incredible stories. Our team would really appreciate it if you give us a like and comment. Your opinion is very important to us. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed.